Today we're tying the Ice Dub Prince, kind of a new pattern for us, new take on an old pattern. I've got a 5262 in here, size 8. I've got a 3/16 gold bead. I'm going to start black 6/0 uni thread right behind the bead, wind back to the tail. Snip off my tag end. I'm going to take 2 brown biots, goose biots, cut those off from the center of the feather. Just going to kind of crisscross those in my fingers, make a small X, get them kind of evened out a bit. Tie those directly at the bend. I just kind of continue right over the top of those biots. I don't bother snipping them off. I don't want to have a huge, bulky, tie-in point. So I've wrapped my thread forward to the bead. I'm going to cut off about 2.5 to 3 inches of 0.25 lead wire. We want this thing down there pretty much as deep as possible. So I'll tie that in right behind the bead. And I'm just going to wind the shank. Probably get a dozen or so wraps of lead out of it. The idea is just to get this thing really down there. The more lead, the better. Take off about 3 inches of this oval, fine, varnished tinsel. It's going to be the rib. So I'll tie that in right there on top of the biot. Now I'm going to take equal parts of olive ice dub and peacock ice dub and mix those together. Doesn't have to be exactly perfect or even really all that close. I just take the 2 separate pieces in my fingers, mix the 2 together. This gives it a little bit more of a green highlight. I think that the fish sometimes, at least here on the Mackenzie and Willamette systems, take this as a green drake nymph, especially on as it starts to swing up at the bottom of the drift. So I've mixed up the 2 colors, got kind of a greenish peacock mix. We're going to dub a nice cigar-shaped body, tapered from the tail towards the fat part of the front. It's thorax. I just loosely wind that on to the hook shank there, or onto the thread there, and then we'll just wrap that forward. So I'll wind that body forward, and you can see I got a nice little taper there. I'll leave myself just a little bit of room. I've still got a couple steps left here in tying in the wing and the hackle. So at this point in time, I'll take that oval rib, and I'll just go right over the top of that ice dub. Got about 4 to 6 wraps. Tie my hen hackle next. So I like a little bit wider, webbier feathers. They tend to swim a little bit better. We've got a bunch of lead on there, so we don't have to worry about the mass all that much. We'll tie that hen hackle in just behind the bead. These are hackle pliers. 2, maybe 3 wraps of hackle. Put up our tag end. Now I'm going to take 2 white biots. These are goose biots again. I'll do that same kind of finger cross that I did last time with the tail biot. And I'll lay those right on top of the hackle. Now to finish this off, we've got those biots tied in there. I'm just going to take a real small gather of that same ice dub that we mixed up earlier. And I'm just going to finish off the collar. Don't have to do that, you can do it with just regular thread if you want to. I think the ice dub is just a little bit nicer touch. And we'll just do a couple hitches. Use your whip finisher. Snip off the thread. As you can see, a pretty simple pattern to tie. Been very effective on the Mackenzie the last couple weeks. Hope you enjoy it.